AI is making waves in the creative industry, composing music, designing logos, writing scripts, even generating artwork in seconds. But is it replacing human creativity or simply reshaping how we create? In this video, we explore whether AI is a threat to artists, writers, and designers, or a powerful tool that can elevate their work. Can machines truly be creative, or is the human touch still irreplaceable? Let's unpack the impact of AI on creativity and what it means for the future of art. Today, we will talk about AI in the creative industry, threat or tool. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. The rise of AI in creative applications. Over the past decade, rapid advancements in machine learning, generative algorithms, and neural networks have enabled AI to venture deep into traditionally human-dominated arenas. Generative adversarial networks, GANs, can now create realistic artworks from scratch. Tools like OpenAI's ChatGPT and DALL*E can produce written content and visual imagery that rivals human output. Adobe's Firefly, Runway ML, and Midjourney have become popular among designers and creators seeking faster, more imaginative workflows. In music, AIVA and Amper Music are helping musicians generate melodies and scores. In writing, Jasper AI and Sudowrite support authors in overcoming writer's block and enhancing prose. These tools are not isolated experiments. They're increasingly becoming mainstream, adopted by both hobbyists and professionals to accelerate content creation and ideation. Democratization of creativity. One of the most celebrated impacts of AI in the creative industry is the democratization of artistic expression. Individuals who lack formal training in design, music, or writing can now use AI tools to produce content that previously required years of expertise. For instance, a solo entrepreneur can design a professional-looking logo, create a pitch deck, and even compose a brand jingle, all with minimal technical skills, thanks to AI. This has lowered entry barriers and made creativity more inclusive. AI has empowered marginalized voices, allowing people across socioeconomic backgrounds to tell stories, design visuals, or compose tracks without costly equipment or education. In this sense, AI is not a threat but a bridge to creativity for those who once stood outside its gates. The Artist's Toolkit. Augmentation, not replacement. For seasoned professionals, AI is increasingly becoming a partner rather than a competitor. Many artists, writers, and musicians now use AI tools to enhance their workflow rather than replace it. AI can generate first drafts, suggest alternative perspectives, or offer visual concepts, helping creators move past creative blocks and iterate faster. In animation, AI can automatically lip-sync characters or generate backgrounds. In film, it can suggest shot compositions or simulate lighting conditions. In architecture, AI can assist with rendering complex visualizations. These tools, when wielded skillfully, expand rather than contract the scope of human imagination. In essence, AI becomes another brush in the painter's toolkit, a powerful extension of human thought, not its substitution. Economic displacement and fear among creatives. Despite its benefits, AI's rapid entry into the creative space has triggered significant anxiety, especially among freelancers and junior-level professionals. Graphic designers, voiceover artists, illustrators, and content writers are witnessing declining demand for routine work, as clients turn to AI for faster and cheaper alternatives. Stock image platforms, which once offered steady revenue to photographers and designers, now face disruption by AI-generated visuals that are more customizable and cost-effective. The fear is not unfounded. If basic tasks can be automated, will creative professionals lose their livelihood? For many, AI feels less like a tool and more like an economic replacement engine. The anxiety is heightened by clients who devalue creative labor, using AI as justification to lower rates or reduce staffing. Ethical challenges and copyright chaos. AI's rise also presents significant ethical and legal dilemmas. Most AI models are trained on vast datasets scraped from the internet, often without the explicit consent of the original creators. This includes copyrighted images, texts, and music. As a result, artists are finding AI-generated works that mimic their style or incorporate their content without compensation or attribution. Debate over who owns AI-generated content, the user, the toolmaker, or the data source, is still ongoing. High-profile lawsuits, like those filed by artists against companies like Stability AI and OpenAI, reflect the growing tension between innovation and intellectual property rights. The creative industry now faces a legal gray zone, where boundaries between inspiration, imitation, and infringement are increasingly hard to define. Originality versus imitation. The question of authentic creativity. Can I truly be creative? This philosophical question continues to divide experts. AI does not possess consciousness, emotion, or lived experience, all essential ingredients for human creativity. What it does is mimic patterns based on existing data. While AI can produce technically impressive content, many argue that it lacks intent, soul, and contextual depth. A poem about grief written by an AI cannot reflect personal sorrow. A painting generated by an algorithm doesn't tell a story of struggle, growth, or love unless those meanings are projected onto it by humans. Critics argue that AI is a synthetic imitator, not an authentic creator. However, proponents suggest that creativity itself is pattern-based and that AI's ability to remix, reimagine, and innovate within boundaries is, in its own way, a new form of creativity. Collaboration between human and machine. The future of the creative industry may not lie in choosing between humans or machines, but in fostering collaboration between the two. Artists like Refik Anadol use AI as a core medium in their generative installations, blending code and aesthetics. Musicians are creating AI-assisted albums, where human emotion meets algorithmic perfection. Writers are using tools like ChatGPT to co-write narratives that would have taken months to conceive. The collaboration is not about AI replacing intuition, but enhancing it. In this new paradigm, AI becomes a creative co-pilot, capable of exploring countless possibilities, while humans retain final editorial control and emotional insight. Cultural impact and the shaping of aesthetic norms. AI is not just influencing how art is made, it's also reshaping what we consider art. Algorithms can now replicate any artistic style, leading to questions about originality and authorship. As AI-generated content floods social media, advertising, and publishing, it risks homogenizing aesthetic norms. Platforms might prioritize algorithmically optimized visuals and headlines, gradually pushing human-made content to the margins. There's also concern over AI amplifying bias, since it often reproduces dominant cultural narratives embedded in its training data. This could marginalize unconventional or minority perspectives, narrowing the diversity of voices in global culture. Education, adaptation, and the future of creative work. In response to AI's growing influence, educational institutions and industry leaders are rethinking what it means to be creatively skilled. Today's creatives need more than artistic vision. They must understand prompt engineering, algorithmic bias, copyright law, and data ethics. Courses on AI and design, generative art, and computational creativity are becoming essential. Forward-thinking creatives are adapting by embracing hybrid roles, becoming AI-literate storytellers, tech-savvy designers, and digital philosophers. Rather than resisting the wave, those who learn to ride it will shape the future of their industries. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up. Leave a comment and click the button to subscribe.